All Olympics long, Steph Curry has not looked like the Steph Curry we all know. The one that can put up points in a hurry, the one that can shoot a three and look away before it even goes in, the one that looked like the most dangerous offensive player on the floor. Well, in the semifinals against Serbia, we saw every single one of those things come pouring back. This game will go down as the Steph Curry game, because without him, the United States would not be advancing to the finals, and the best piece of hardware they could come out with would be a bronze medal, which we all know would be a disappointment. But if you remember the exhibition games, Steph Curry had one game that really stood out from the others, and that was against, guess who? Serbia.
Out there for Team USA. Curry buries the three, and all we're missing is sweet Georgia Brown.
However, that game obviously didn't have the same gravity as the semifinals, and the final result displayed exactly that. In the exhibition game, Team USA blew out Serbia by 26 points, and then in the group play phase, they trampled on Serbia again by another 26 points. But when you've played a team 2 times in such a short span, it's destined to be better the third time, because not only are you able to learn from your mistakes against the same opponent, but you're able to develop counters. And I think that Serbia actually did a pretty good job. We all know Team USA is incredibly talented, and they can score from pretty much anywhere on the floor, whether it be shooting threes, finishing in the lane, or just bully balling in the post. But for Serbia to limit the United States to about 20 points for each of the first 3 quarters, with the first quarter being their highest of the 3 with 23, is very impressive. And in addition to them containing Team USA, they brought the offensive game as well, specifically the first quarter, which gave them the foundation for the rest of the game. But that foundation can only last so long. After Serbia was basically on a heater for the first 3 quarters, they weren't able to keep up with the United States in the fourth. And that was the story of the game. From the exhibition matchups, Team USA learned that you have to close out the game despite having a double-digit lead at halftime, and even more so having a double-digit lead heading into the fourth quarter. But before we get into that, like we always do, let's start from the beginning. Starting off the first quarter, Steph Curry immediately got off to a hot start. And I think after he hit his first shot, we all knew there was a possibility of seeing a true Steph Curry game. And after seeing 5 threes go down and a 17-point quarter, a Steph Curry flurry was beginning. Curry had 74% of Team USA's first quarter points. But unfortunately, it wasn't helping Team USA create separation from Serbia, it was helping Team USA just stay in the game. Serbia came out of the gate on fire, and they clearly wanted it more as they just had a different energy to them compared to the US. And that's to be expected because Serbia was a team that the United States were able to take care of fairly easily in the past. But Serbia wasn't going to let that happen again. And if it wasn't for Steph Curry going off early, instead of looking at an 8-point deficit, it may have been closer to 15, which in the long run would have made all the difference. But unlike the last 2 games where the United States were able to break the game open in the second quarter, this game was the complete opposite. Instead of outscoring the opponent, they scored 3 less points than Serbia, meaning they were going into the half down 11 points as opposed to being up in the 15 to 20 point range as they were in the previous games. But a notable event occurred with about 3.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Bogdan Bogdanovic started running his mouth at Carmelo Anthony, who was sitting courtside, which I have no idea why he was doing that. But more importantly, LeBron James had a little moment with Bogdanovic as well. And I think it was at this moment that Team USA was not going to let themselves lose this game. Heading into the third quarter down 11, the United States still could not find their offense, and Serbia was still keeping up with their pace, finishing with a 2-point third quarter win. The United States are left in a now or never situation, being down 76 to 63 heading into the fourth quarter. And as I mentioned earlier, with a double-digit lead, you have to close out the game, something Serbia could not do. Throughout the first 3 quarters, the Serbians put up 15 threes and an astonishing 0 threes in the fourth quarter. The main thing keeping Serbia in front was matching Steph Curry's explosion, but once the threes stopped falling, the lead dissipated. Serbia was leading the game for 34 out of the 40 minutes. 85% of the game was not in the hands of the United States, something that they were not used to considering in the last 4 games combined, they've only trailed for a total of 16 minutes. But down the stretch in any game, the go-to move is to resort to your best players, and Team USA has a ton of those guys. Joel Embiid had a fantastic fourth quarter and definitely contributed to creating a winning opportunity. But with 4 minutes left in the game, Team USA would find themselves down by 2. The last 13 points of the game were scored by either Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, or LeBron James. The 3 oldest guys on the team, the 3 guys with the best legacies, all came together and stole this game away from Serbia in the end. Before any of the Olympics or exhibition games even started, there was a ton of people calling these 3 guys in specific way too old to compete, and I thought that couldn't be farther from the truth. And I think this game just showed everyone why those 3 legends can still compete at a high level. And seeing LeBron, Steph, and KD all celebrate the win together at the end was just an awesome sight to see as a basketball fan. After seeing Steph Curry struggle over and over again trying to adjust to Olympic basketball, it felt so good to finally see him have one of these games, and every single point he scored was needed. The United States made 16 total threes, and 9 of them were from Steph Curry alone. LeBron James did his part, recording a triple-double, and Joel Embiid once again continues to improve and play at a high rate. Earlier in the Olympics, it was looking like he was so bad he couldn't be played, but he has steadily improved and they needed all of it. And shout out to Devin Booker for his fantastic defense in the fourth as well. Against Brazil, it looked more like a full team effort, but against Serbia, it came down to the big dogs closing out the game to advance the United States to the final game. But overall, this was by far the most entertaining game in my opinion. Seeing the 3 legends of the NBA that most of us grew up on taking over as a team in the clutch and then celebrating at the end was just awesome. But anyways guys, what do you think about Team USA after their 4th official Olympic game against Serbia? Was this the best game Team USA has played entertainment-wise? And do you think Steph Curry can keep this up in the final matchup? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.